In this example, I will show you how to turn your vehicle to face your enemy. The most immediate and obvious thing that comes to mind is doing something with the angle between the target and the construct forward-facing direction. Luckily for us, there's an in-game function that gives you this angle, but you could also get this angle manually. But for now, let's do the easy option and just use the in-game function. First, I will create a function outside of function update. I will use this function to get the information of the angle and manipulate it. Right. So the function we are interested in is the target position info, which will return the target position info object, which will include this information. We are specifically interested in the azimuth, which would be the angle between our forward-facing direction and the position of the relative position of the enemy. As the mainframe index, I will insert 0 because this vehicle has only one mainframe, and the mainframes are indexed by the order you put them down. 0 being the first you put down. Target index is also 0, the first target. By doing get target position dot azimuth, I call the azimuth object, which is the angle, and I name this value the angle. You could also localize, for example, if your code gets rather lengthy, like this, which is actually this is not that much code, but I mean, you might want to localize your variables. It might be a good idea to just put local in front of this, and then this variable will be only local to this function. It cannot be used outside of the function. But for now, I won't be using that. Now we have the angle. We can see what the angle is by doing this. So on the left hand side of the screen you can see the angle between the construct forward-facing direction and the relative position of the enemy. And you can see how it changes with different orientations. This can give you an idea of how it works. And also a very important thing is what the function does when you exceed 180 degrees. So since it changes from minus to 0, you can think of the azimuth angle that will be returned as two half circles, where this side will be from 0 to minus 180 and this side will be from 0 to plus 180. And you will need to keep this in mind when you're designing the code that will make the vehicle turn in the direction of the enemy. So right, now the angle will return to face the now the construct will return to face the enemy. But as you can see, it's quite spastic, I guess, and you don't want it. If you are fancy like me and you know some PID theory, or if you just have a brain, you might eventually realize that what we need to do is to reduce this acceleration. We need to reduce the power of the thrusters, or what? I mean, what would help to reduce this acceleration is introducing some tolerance term. So let's do that. Right. So by introducing the tolerance term, it won't constantly try to pace the target. Now we can further reduce this by proportionally reducing the power of the thrusters as they approach the zero angle. By fraction I mean the power fraction that we will pass the thrusters. Oh, since the thrusters only accept positive value, what I need to do here is get the modulus of fraction. The reason why I divide angle by 180 is because the maximum angle the vehicle can turn is 180 degrees, and I want a fraction of 180. So this will give me a value between minus 1 to 1, depending upon the angle. You might be thinking that this will be a really small value when we approach the enemy, and when we approach the angle we want to reach, namely the angle 0. You'd be right, and I will fix that program later. By introducing this new term, we can say how much by what factor the fraction will scale. So if we don't like it being this calm, if we wanted to get to the target way faster than this, then we can just increase. No, we can scale the fraction term by the factor gain. Let's say 100 times, because why not? No, this is not noticeable. There we go. So now we have scaled it. We could also make it basically non-existent. Okay, this is way too little. This is a wee bit better. There are a lot of fancy stuff you could include in the code. For example, to get the altitude be around 40 with no steady state error, I am using this code, which basically simulates PI control, proportional and integral control. If you want to, you can work through this code.